continued from our last meeting.
There you go.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of asking for everything to be digital, and then I can't pull it up. So it's the continued open public meeting for site plan application for 536 North Main Street for Taco John's Restaurant with drive-through. They were going to make some revisions, if I recall correctly. Hi, yes, please.
Hey, William Murray from Places Associates. We did make some minor revisions. We took your comments into light, and really the revisions are very minor. We made 45-degree parking, which gave us a 20-foot backup aisle, just as you suggested. So more than enough space. We lost 2 parking spaces, but we have a total of 19, 10 are required. Took the loading area, so there's no overlap between our snow storage and the loading area, and there's sufficient space between the loading area and the parking along the back so that they can back out. We've added some plan notes, mostly just for clarification. We've added 2 different plan notes to say that a sewer water clearance plan is required by the DPW. We changed the cover sheet to accommodate the changes in the number of parking spaces. We didn't change the snow storage calculations because we just simply moved the loading space off to the side. And that's pretty much the only changes that we made to the plan.
And no change to the handicaps.
There's nothing we can do. There's no geometry I can make work out there. That's the flattest part of the site, and it's in proximity to the main public entrance. I can't put it over here, it's just too steep.
That's fine. I'm glad you did the angled parking, because that'll make a huge difference on the drive-through traffic.
Yeah, a good suggestion.
Yep. So how many spaces do you have now?
19,
And how many was required?
10.
10.
I thought it was 17, which is adequate too, but it's 19.
I wrote 19. I'd have to check the cover sheet.
The building
Yep.
department,
19.
the building department, the DPW, the fire, police, and board of health all reviewed the additional, and they had no additional questions or concerns.
How about the notes from the technical meeting?
Those were from July 22nd, 2022.
Yeah. Have those been incorporated into?
The mayor wanted to ensure that appropriate landscaping was provided and make sure the facade has a nice design.
Sprinkled, sprinkled?
Yeah, the fire department wanted to make sure the building is sprinklered.
And the police want the alarm.
Yeah.
So there's a code compliance plan that's gonna be submitted to the building department when we pull the building permit. And I believe the only area that's gonna be sprinkled is the storage room. And then any cooking areas will have a specialized. I don't think it will be water.
Regular sprinkler.
Yeah.
We're just going through it just to.
Yeah, I'm just- I noticed all the, and we'll go through them, all the department heads.
Yeah, they're all good.
That
We're all
everybody's
good.
They're all
okay.
clean,
Yep. Right here.
I don't, yeah, and building approved. DPW had no additional comments. Fire approved. Police approved. Health approved.
And wasn't there a comment about no left turn on the restaurant as
That was
well?
from the police department.
Right,
That was early on, and then
That
we
was
have a
early in the
traffic study
beginning.
done,
yeah.
and that comment hasn't resurfaced.
It's tough to have no left turn when your ingress is going to be, is coming from the far lane. And that's not, in my recollection, that's not the only, establishment that
Right.
we have to do
That's
that.
right. That's right.
Well, the lights are right there too, so you kind of get a chance, people see the red light coming up, they're gonna be more apt to give you a.
You do get a
second to-
Okay, I'll open up to the audience. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about this project? Comments? Board, anything else?
No, good.
I move to close the hearing.
Motion made and seconded to close the hearing. All those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Patrick Perla,
Yes.
Paul Weiser,
Yes.
Sal Chaconi,
Yes.
John Souza,
Yes.
Tom Kergnen,
Yes.
Jason Parre, excuse, Dean Valier,
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes. Okay, good luck.
Thank you much.
We'll be voting soon. We'll vote.
Yes, that's right. We'll be
Taco John's,
closing.
that's good.
Will that be tonight?
Yeah.
Yes, we will be.
Yeah, yeah.
It shouldn't be that long if I read quickly.
Very soon.
We'll open up at 6:37, we will open up the 6:35 open public meeting for subdivision regulations amendment, section 13, paragraph 6, the time frame for Mylar signature. Can you remind me, Elizabeth,
Yes,
why we're going
I can
from?
remind you that why we're doing this.
Yeah.
In our subdivision regulations, we had an inconsistency. In one place, in the regulations, it said that an applicant had 60 days from a date of approval to get the Mylar signed, and in another place it said they had 6 months from the date of approval to get the Mylar signed. 60 days is kind of short, so we feel that 6 months is more realistic for time period for the Mylars to get signed, and we just wanna make sure it says the same thing in the ordinance and not two different things.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Agreed.
Any, so this is an open, hearing, so I'll open it up. Does anyone have any questions or comments from the audience on this approval to amend it from 60 days to 6 months? Board?
Move to close
Because
the
we've been
hearing.
allowing 6 months all along, right?
We have to allow, the way the legal opinion was, we have to allow the least restrictive, cause if it says it once, but still,
Well,
we
what's
wanna
the
clear up the
average?
language in the regs to make sure that.
No, I know it's inconsistent, but what's the average? What do we look at usually?
Most of the engineers bring it in within 3 months.
Yeah, so
At the
they're-
2 month, we were asking for that.
Yeah, 2 months is too, yeah. Okay, just curious.
Okay. I move to close the hearing.
Is there a reason? Just 6 months seems excessive.
Excessive.
Yeah, but sometimes they have to get their homeowner agreement, they have other documents they have to get done.
I think, but we're pretty diligent, and so is Elizabeth and Stephanie. I think if it's done within a week, we're gonna have it signed in a week.
Yeah. we always-
As soon as it comes in, we put it on the agenda, but they have to get to that point.
We're not encouraging procrastination.
We'll be tracking them to make sure they do bring it in before the 6 months anyway, John.
And that's what it is now.
It's 6
It's
months
what
now.
it is,
is what it is anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
it's what it translates to legally.
Okay. So we have a motion to close with a second. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Patrick
Please.
Perla,
Yes.
Paul Weiser,
Yes.
Sal Chaconi.
Yes.
Open to the public.
Oh, yeah, you get over.
I did.
She did.
Yep, we did. John,
Oh, did you? Okay.
Thank you.
Sal Chaconi,
I always
Yes.
do public first.
John Souza,
Yes.
Tom Kergnen,
Yes.
Jason Parre, excuse, Dean Valier,
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes. Okay, those were the two open public meetings, regular meeting call to order.
Patrick Perla,
Here.
Paul Weiser,
Here.
Sal Chaconi,
yeah,
John Souza,
Yeah.
Tom Kergnen,
Present.
Jason Parre, excuse, Dean Valier,
Here.
Carol Vittorioso.
Here. 2.0 minutes of previous meeting, February 6, 2023.
I move to accept the minutes.
Second.
Motion made and second to accept the minutes. Any discussion, any changes?
Good as usual.
Okay.
it's good to me.
Motion made and second to approve the minutes of February 6th. All those in favor, roll.
I guess just one question. Okay.
What's that, John?
He has one thing he
I
wants.
just got one question. Do we, when we report, the shows that were there, do that we're on,
It does.
by internet, by phone?
Yes, it's in there in the minutes.
Under notes.
It says John Souza, chairman, and Thomas Kerrigan, board member, participated remotely via telephone.
Okay,
At the very
on the front
beginning.
page, yeah.
okay, I missed that.
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay, good question, John. Okay, motion made and seconded. All those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Patrick Perla.
Yes.
Paul Weiser.
Yes.
Sal Chaconi.
Yes.
John Souza.
Yes,
Tom Kerrigan.
yes,
Jason Parre, excused. Dean Valier.
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes. 3.0, plan submitted. 3.1, site plan application for 8 Mohawk Drive, map 323, parcels 6, 8, 9, and 10 for a warehouse addition. We have to schedule this for a public information meeting.
Yes, we have March 20th open at 6:30.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second to continue this for a hearing, or
To
to schedule it for a hearing. Public information meeting.
Yeah.
March 20th at 6:30. All those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Patrick Perla.
Yes.
Paul Weiser.
Yes.
Sal Chaconi.
Yep.
John Souza.
yes,
Tom Kerrigan.
yes,
Jason Parre, excused. Dean Valier.
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes. 3.2, modification of a site plan application for 791 Research Drive, map 503, parcels 3-11, manufacturing, office, retail.
Yes, they want to do a second floor addition to this and add a lot of parking,
So
like
March,
56 spaces.
March 20th, 6:35.
Do you want to do 6:35?
Well,
Well, you never know, somebody might not show
6:35 is
up.
fine.
Yeah, 6:35, as long as we get it on the
Yeah.
agenda.
3:20, 6:35. You made the motion, right?
Yeah.
Second.
Motion made by Paul, second to schedule this for March 20th at 6:35. All those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Patrick Perla.
Yes.
Paul Weiser.
Yes.
Sal Chaconi.
Yes.
John Souza.
yes,
Tom Kerrigan.
yes,
Jason Parre, excused. Dean Valier.
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes. Old business, 4.1, continued site plan application for 536 North Main Street, map 205, parcel 2 for Taco John's Restaurant with drive-through. Any discussion from the board? Further discussion?
I think we covered most of it. Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
With,
Any conditions?
Any conditions?
I don't know that-
related to the
I think
applicant?
after the,
did they waive anything?
No waivers
No
were
waivers.
requested.
no waivers, and they addressed all of the department head concerns.
So there were no limitations?
Just the condition that the planning director shall inspect all conditions are met prior to release of a building permit.
That's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
So move with that condition.
Yes. Easy.
Okay, motion made by Pat, second by Paul. All those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Patrick Perla.
Yes.
Paul Weiser.
Yes.
Sal Chaconi.
Yes, yay.
John Souza.
Yes,
Tom Kerrigan.
yes,
Jason Parre, excused. Dean Valier.
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes. Excellent.
Good luck.
Good luck to you, and thanks for
Yeah, I let you. the parking
thanks for
lot's
being
good.
open to the comments.
Good comments,
Yes,
appreciate it.
sure. 5.0, new business subdivision regulations amendment, time frame for Mylar signature, section 13, paragraph G, from amending it from 60 days to sign to 6 months.
No,
Well, to get rid of the discrepancy, it
Just to
says
make it-
6 months, it's just, right?
yeah, 6
Did I
months.
say that wrong?
I don't
6
To be
months.
endorsed within, instead of 60 days, within 6 months.
Yes, you got it.
Okay, so move.
Second.
Motion made by Sal, second by Paul. All those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Patrick Perla.
Yes.
Paul Weiser.
Yes.
Sal Chaconi.
Yay.
John Souza.
yes,
Tom Kerrigan.
yes,
Jason Parre, excused. Dean Valier.
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes. Motion carries. 6.0, communications. 6.1, subdivision regulations amendments per the suggestion of the DPW on December 19, 2022. The board is to review and consider recommended amendments.
Okay, I'll just say that this started with Jason Paré searching for corrections based on comments that we'd received from DPW on countless applications. So Jason and I reached out to the DPW and asked them, what, based on state, federal regulations, what do you recommend we change? And they were kind enough to do an extensive evaluation and come up with a series of recommendations dated December 19th, 2022. And we're very fortunate tonight that we have Mark Piermarini from the DPW here to go over this with us and answer any questions.
Long time, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Jason's not unable to make it tonight, but fortunately Mark was able to come.
All right,
I like a lot of these, common sense.
How you doing?
Do you have the list?
Yeah, I have.
Do you want me to give it to you or do you?
I have a copy. I mean, I don't know if you want me to go through them, or there's 20 of them, or just, I came here if you had questions, basically.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, do it, man, go through them.
Yeah, we do, you have to go
take
through
quick.
it.
You want me to go through them?
Yeah.
You have to vote on each one.
Okay.
We have to hold 20 votes.
Well, we'll do it on, unless we have a
We have to have a
outlier, we'll
hearing
do
on
them,
An open public meeting on it. We have to advertise.
Cause this is just.
we have to advertise, oh,
If we wanna move forward with this, we have to have an
So we're
open
just
public
questioning
meeting
it.
So this is
advertised.
just a little bit.
Okay.
This is just the
Okay,
communication.
This is preliminary, this is just for knowledge.
okay, so, but give us a quick overview, Mark, and then we're going to have to schedule it.
Yeah, I mean, a few of them, I won't go through the ones that few of them are, like, changing the state spec sections, they've changed since the original subdivision, right? I won't say those. The first one we had was just electronic copy of all the plan and documents in the submission of your plans, have it listed in your subdivision regs. The second one is the street trees. We're trying to get rid of these grass strips even on
Yeah.
existing roadways, so
Yep.
we're trying to get rid of any grass strips. So new ones, we're recommending putting a sidewalk up against the curb, so that's number 2. Cul-de-sac plantings, the central radius, we're saying you can reduce it down to 10-foot radius, or maybe include a BMP inside it. I mean, it's up to the board, obviously, these are just recommendations. But reducing the size of that central radius and maybe putting like tree box filter or a rain garden in them. I mean, I've actually, in the past, designed rain gardens inside the central radius. So that was our recommendation on those. The dead-end streets, I mean, they're huge with 100-foot and the 120 on the outside. We'd recommend just go down to 80-foot to the pavement radius and 100 to the right-of-way. The traveled way, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember from my past, you guys always waved to the 28-foot width, so we're just saying put 28-foot width in there. The next couple are the sections that I was talking about, we don't really have to go through those. The sidewalks, again,
Can you talk about the 28-foot before you go further?
Yeah.
I don't think we always do that. Are you comfortable with 28?
oh yeah, some towns only go to 24, so 28's fine with us.
Unless it's like a major road.
I apologize, I haven't been
But I mean,
before
it
in a long
still
time,
stays
when
in-
I was here, they always used to waive it, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying get rid of 34 altogether?
Yeah, just over 28.
No, select the street, so.
Connect the
Only
streets.
minus 3.
Oh, for minor streets?
Oh, yeah,
Just for
correct,
minor
correct,
streets,
yes,
just for
correct.
minor streets, right.
You're right.
Right, okay.
Substantive. Again, the 33 just says, it's kind of clarifying that we want the sidewalk to abut the curb. 33 is a section reference again. Page 33 sidewalks, we're just saying they should have the 8-inch base and 4-inch of concrete. We're recommending concrete because when we install new sidewalks in town, they're always concrete, not the bituminous.
Yep.
So that's a recommendation.
The last one.
Oh, yeah. And the granite curb with the concrete.
Right.
So I know you require granite on your entrance radii and the cul-de-sac.
Yep.
So where the sidewalk is, we'd want the granite, and it's a
Makes
better
sense, too.
backup for it. Page 34, that's just a section reference again. Page 34, again, grass strip. That's, again, specifying, get rid of that grass strip. Number 11 is adding to section 9R 14M, just to put in about the common force main system shall be located outside the proposed right of way and a sewer easement to be held by the homeowner association. That's what we've been doing. so, just to put it in the subdivision regs. Page 39, the proposed subdivision shall not increase the rates, I'm saying to add volumes, concentration of velocity runoff, add volume. I've been to many towns in the past where they have the volume in there too. You can design drainage calcs and reduce your rate, but your volume can still be an increase.
Right.
So I'm just saying add that in there.
Yep.
I mean, most people don't design it that way anyways, but it's better to have it in there anyways. Again, page 39, I'm just saying reference the deep hole, we're requiring the deep hole to be done at the basins and the infiltration systems. And then page 49 is just referencing that stormwater pollution prevention plan, just saying, just spell it out, that we'd like a copy of that. And then on page 63, that's about the record plans. We'd like to get copies of them submitted in hard copy and digital format when they do them. So we're just saying add that in. And the last part, really just a nomenclature, it's functional integrity of all parts of the water, sewer and drainage. We said just drainage systems, we said we should have water and sewer.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
All right, great. Those are great catches there, Mark, and we'll schedule this for a public hearing. Can we do it on March 20th?
I don't think so, cause we have to advertise.
Oh, okay, that's
It's gonna have
correct.
to be April 3rd.
Okay, so April 3rd at 6:30?
Yeah, that's good.
What's that?
Paul moved
The bottom
April,
line of this says check references state sanitary code of the
Oh.
Board of Health.
Yes, sir.
Should we be reaching out to them?
Yeah,
Always
that was just something kind of a note for you guys, just check with
Yeah.
them. I'm not sure if that reference is still good about the.
Okay,
Okay,
we can do that.
you'll have time to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, April 3rd at 6:30. I have Paul's motion,
yep, second.
second by Sal. All those in favor to schedule this for a public hearing for April 3rd at 6:30? All those in favor, roll call vote.
Patrick Perla.
Yes.
Paul Weiser. Sal Chaconi.
Yay.
John Souza.
Yes.
Tom Kergnen. Tom Kergnen.
Roston, you fell in the pool.
He's
Tom
gone.
Kergnen.
Say again.
It says he's still here, but you can pass,
Tom
we
is
have enough to
abstaining.
vote.
Excuse. Jason Parre, excuse. Dean Valier.
Yes.
Kara Vittoria, so.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you, Mark.
Thank
Thank you.
That's gonna be a long, legal ad. It's gonna be expensive, cause I'm gonna have to put each one in there.
So these are really 20 separate
Yeah.
hearings?
No, it's one hearing, but
Do you have to do the,
it's one open it's an open public meeting, it's not a hearing.
Okay.
When you advertise it,
But I
it's
have
just
to
gonna
put-
be laundry list in one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Thank
laundry
you.
list.
Yeah, okay, but I think we can take them
May not match the brevity of the
in
hearing.
block when we vote, and if we have any outliers, we can take them out.
And block them and vote, yeah.
motion to take it in block.
Okay.
Okay, 6.2, 155 Tanzio Road site plan. Elizabeth to provide us with an update.
Yes, so if you'll recall, at the last planning board meeting, we got an update that all the unregistered vehicles were removed from the property except for one.
Yep.
And, I went out to do an inspection, and Tom says he lost us. Can we call, is he calling back in?
We don't need them.
That's okay, we're good.
If that's okay.
I'll just tell him to call back.
I didn't, as well as.
He said we should be all set. I told him to call back. But there were 28 items parked on the property, be they trailers, be they RVs, be they vehicles.
They were all registered.
They were all registered, but the condition of approval for the plan says that there can be 11 vehicles parked on the property. So if we have 28 items being stored on the property, that wasn't part of the site
11.
plan. We have that new ordinance, we have a new ordinance where you can apply for an overflow lot with a special permit and a site plan approval. And the building inspector, based on the way the city charter works, the building inspector has to write the letter. So I talked to the building inspector today, he says he's going to write a letter, basically saying that, the property owner needs to come forward for site plan approval and special permit, it's both. In order to
For
get,
an overflow,
in order to get the overflow lot approval,
to
yes,
have that number of vehicles.
yes. So that's where we are with that.
So nothing submitted, nothing,
Nothing submitted
the
yet.
letter
Because
hasn't gone out.
the letter
which
has
is-
to go out, it's not fair to the
Yeah.
property owner. He
Yeah.
doesn't know what to expect,
No.
he's waiting on us.
Okay,
But I couldn't write the letter saying he was in compliance because there were 28 vehicles parked. So I couldn't do what the board asked me to do. Cause I did the inspection and found out new information.
no, that's good.
So, is there any action that?
Yeah, I don't think there's
That's
any
just an
action,
update.
the building inspector sends a
We're waiting on the
letter
building
and then-
inspector, that's just the update.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Then we'll move on to 6.3, 17.
Hold on, can I say?
Oh,
anything?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were here, sir. Yes,
Of
please.
course.
I was told to come.
Okay.
So,
Introduce yourself for the record.
I'm Chad Tully from Tully Storage. And, I don't know what to do, so I'm kinda asking what you think I should do. I didn't know I needed a special permit, I think it's only because of the new ordinance.
That's- Yeah,
And I'm not the only one that doesn't know about it probably. And I'm involved in that.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm a repair place, so I think I'm in a different category, because I'm a storage place.
I
So-
believe that the new ordinance is, in my opinion, it's for an overflow lot like this. It's not for inside storage, but if you have that many vehicles, and you're right, it's because there's a new regulation in place. Because it was getting crazy all around the city, I mean, it was really.
But not crazy on Tangier Road, is it?
I don't know, you know, Tangier Road, right at the corner is, isn't that Piero's at the corner? And he had some
Yeah,
cars
well,
there.
That
But I'm
was,
just saying, you know, there's, you know, now it's to provide some kind of barrier or some kind of buffer. It's not a big involved thing.
a fence would do, right?
Yeah,
Is
and
that
that way
so-
there, you know, you can go for that permit, that special permit, and, you know, go for the overflow lot, and if it's approved, you can
Okay.
keep those
You
28
can have
vehicles there without
many
any issue at
vehicles.
all.
Yeah, well, but I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just saying that
understood.
The cars that were there.
Yep.
I didn't put them there illegally is what I'm
Right.
saying.
Right.
When I went to search for land, I sold my trucking company,
Yep.
so I went for looking for land. I found other land cheaper in other towns, but I
Yep.
like Leominster, I've been paying taxes for 45 years, so it's one of the reasons I picked Leominster, because I know a lot of people. And the need is there. There was no place for people to park vehicles, they were getting told not to. So they came to my place, I didn't know what was going on, so
Hi,
I was like caught in the middle of something.
You did.
I'll put you on
I
speaker.
really did, I'm not trying to
I
make
know.
you feel
You got
sorry for
booted?
me or anything, but, so I got rid of, over $2,000 worth of
Okay, I'll put you
income
on
too that
speaker.
I've been losing, cause I wanna make
the
everyone
cars.
happy. But I don't have all the
Try
money
calling
to build
in.
all the buildings that you approved of,
Right.
0 to 6 at the time. And so I could build 6 buildings, I only got 3 buildings built. So I have no intentions in having overflow for cars, that wasn't my intention, that was just temporary, to help pay for the money, cause the land was already cleared. So I got rid of more than 28, I got rid of over 40,
It's John.
cause I already was trying to get rid of them before I had to come to see you, so that maybe you'll find
No, I know,
favor with
remember
me.
from your last visit, yeah.
Right, so I only had 1 left, or 2 left. And they were registered though, so when she came, it was cleared of what I was asked to clear.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I cleared every vehicle
Yep.
that was not registered. And so a vehicle to me, I've been in the auto repair business for over 40 years also, is a vehicle that has an engine in it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, is it just, it has an engine in it, but, you know, you could have chassis, or you could have, you know, think about it, I mean, so.
I'm just saying, if it doesn't have an engine, then I don't call it a vehicle, but that was one of the challenges that I was having on the phone, when she said, oh, there's still 28 vehicles. I go, no, those are trailers, mostly.
So you have trailers there.
Yeah, you know,
trailers.
RVs and.
RVs and
But an
trailers.
RV is a motorhome, so
Right,
that has a
right.
motor, and I only have one
Correct.
of those.
Correct.
But most of them are trailers with no engine.
Yeah.
Registered and insured, that means they're paying taxes, excise
Yeah.
taxes. Okay, so that was the challenge I was having, but I didn't say anything that was rude, did I, Elizabeth?
No,
No, so, but I didn't agree that they were all vehicles, do you? I'm asking what you
You have
think.
a definition.
I don't agree a
Yeah,
trailer is a vehicle.
I don't
You
either.
don't agree that it's,
I mean, it's,
I see a trailer.
it's got
yeah,
an
a lot of
axle, it
people need
can't
places
leak
to store.
oil.
It can't leak oil?
Now, an RV is a different story, but a
so are you
trailer,
saying, you're agreeing that a trailer is not a vehicle?
I don't think trailer
I
is
don't,
a
if
vehicle.
it's not a vehicle.
I agree
Do
with
we
that.
have a definition?
I mean, is, in the ordinance, is it, I mean, when we're talking about having,
Well, what about parking trailers? To me, it isn't, somebody having more than one
But it-
registered vehicle in the.
What is the
Yeah.
ordinance?
But I'm open to
Right.
getting a special
know.
permit, I'll pay the price,
Right,
the
right.
cost.
But
But-
we tend to agree with you.
Right, I didn't wanna get a lawyer, I talked to some lawyers, two of them.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, you can probably win, but I said, listen, it's not the point. I have 3 more buildings to go up.
Yep.
You guys have been excellent the whole time, but this car thing got in the way. I have no intentions of having a overflowing yard full of cars, I really don't.
I've seen plenty of
Vehicle's not in here as a
Camper.
definition.
parking or storage.
do you mind, can I take a look at that?
And
Campers,
I'm just saying,
Because I'm
boats.
thinking of something else.
Right.
Boats?
right,
Really? I
Thank you
mean,
so much.
that's,
Yeah, is a boat a vehicle?
so,
I mean, unless there's cars.
so that's the challenge I was having.
yeah.
And I didn't wanna have a conversation with Elizabeth, cause she's been really nice to me. So I'm looking for help.
Well, see, now, remember what he's telling us, you were nice.
Right,
But I-
she's, and look, I'm probably not easy, okay, because I don't like getting pushed around. But listen, I'm willing to spend more money, put a fence, whatever, but if I'm not breaking any rules, that's, I'm just asking for, fairness, I guess.
More vehicles. It's not a motor vehicle, it's I should put two.
It said vehicles in the
Well,
notice of decision.
it's a
11.
vehicle?
11
They
parking
listed as a vehicle?
spaces,
So it doesn't say.
Oh, so you're saying you
it
had,
doesn't say motor vehicle.
it just said vehicle for 11 spaces?
A trailer is a vehicle.
I don't,
Yeah, that is a stretch of a
But
definition.
what is that based on? Do we have that written somewhere? Cause I'd just like
Well-
to see a definition.
okay.
I have a planner's
Wait,
dictionary, I
wait.
can,
Trailer.
Trailer, any vehicle which is or can be used for sleeping? No. Living? No.
Well, yeah, that's what they are.
No,
A
I have,
trailer?
no, I have some, you know
It's
the
an
guys that
RV.
pick up, guys,
The pickup-
carpenters, they have a trailer behind their truck.
Oh, right, right.
They can't park it at their house anymore, that's illegal in this city, I think.
Or, well, this is the other issue, Mr. Tully, or it says any vehicle which can be used for sleeping, living, or working purposes and which has been, or can be mounted on wheels.
That's the
That's the definition of trailer.
That changes.
But is
does.
there? is
Okay, so I just gotta go get the special permit then?
And
to-
site
To
plan.
have that, to have a trailer, correct?
Well, to have that many, I think,
You
right?
can have 11.
You can have 11 by right, is that what it is?
you can have 11 items by right, 11
So you can have
vehicles.
11 of those by right, but if you wanna, if you've got the space for it and you wanna have the additional, I mean, the
Okay, so yeah, I'm
requirements on
asking
that
for your
aren't that,
advice, really.
they're not that big, the requirements.
That's the cleanest
So, you know,
way to
you're just
do it.
gonna have to screen,
No.
everyone I've seen
It's not the
before,
greatest definition.
not I've seen them all over the country. They have fencing, they have screening, and people store all their trailers there, they're just storage places for trailers.
Yeah, they're not, they can't store them on the side of the road.
Right, or at their
Well,
homes,
the
especially,
neighbors are close, the neighbor doesn't wanna live
California
there.
especially,
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and, from what I understand is, one of the reasons I picked that road, because there wasn't anyone that could complain.
Right.
But every letter I get say, there's been numerous complaints. I have across the street from the dump, and the rubbish guys don't complain. Okay, so I was just wondering
It's funny.
who those people are that are complaining. But, and I go up and down this road cleaning all the trash from the trash trucks, because they can't help it, it's not their fault, okay?
But if you get the site plan approval and the special permit approval, you can also bring the unregistered vehicles back and make the,
That's
I
right.
really don't,
That's part of your-
Yeah,
that's
you don't
not
wanna
my
get into
goal,
that.
my
No,
goal is to
right,
build
right.
you
buildings.
could do that.
And, but you could fill it with.
So
those
I don't even
trailers.
know what I don't even know what to ask for.
I would just, do a site.
Site
See
plan
the-
approval for
for-
storage
Where do I
of
get one of
trailers.
those?
Overflow
But
lot.
how do I get a
That's a lot.
site?
She'll walk
But it's
you
not
through
an
Huh?
Elizabeth
it's
will
in a
walk you through
storage
Yeah, it's
But
the
the
new
same-
ordinance we talked about.
So how do I get one? How do I
You
get
go
a?
to, you were working with Hannigan Engineering
Oh,
and
is
they
that, so I
already
go to him and I have to give him more money?
they
don't do
were,
that.
No, don't do that, wait a minute,
They already have your application on file,
I know.
so they shouldn't have to do too much. To add on
That's
a
what I was hoping.
notation that you're gonna add a fence or vegetation to screen it. Because you'll have to do that, you have to do fencing or vegetation to screen it. And then a notation saying you're gonna have X number of vehicles or trailers or,
He needs to know how to apply, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know how to
for the
apply, I
special
mean,
permit.
yeah,
He
it's
needs
an
to-
application on our website, I can direct you to it.
I don't know how to use a computer, I'm sorry.
So,
I'm a
he
mechanic.
needs to come down and see
We can print
Elizabeth.
we
so
can
he
print out an application for you.
Okay, I hate to sound that dumb, but I really
No,
don't.
no,
You're
no.
not.
That's
You
what
know,
they're
you
there
go to
for.
the-
Don't walk the
you
We
go
can
to
print it out
Elizabeth's
for you.
office.
The planning department's
It's
happy
gonna have to be
help
an
you.
engineer plan though, so,
That's too bad. That's a lot of money. To say, put this tree here, put that one here.
but you've already paid for them to do the site plan, so all they have to do is add a note on it saying that you're gonna have other vehicles or campers or
Okay, I'll do
RVs or
that.
whatever you wanna
So all I
call
have to
it.
do is ask to put,
And then you have to show a display of fencing or vegetation to screen it, because that's part of the
Fencing,
ordinance.
Yeah, solid fencing, or you
So it
can have
shouldn't be- it shouldn't be an extensive
arborvitae's, whatever
plan.
is-
well, did anyone ever go by there and see it, the place yet?
No, we can.
I really appreciate it. I'd like to invite you to come there and look around. I mean, it's,
John Souza did an inspection with me of the
Okay.
property.
I had a fence put in the front on the road that was custom from Florida. It cost me way more money than a chain link.
Yeah, they
I
are.
wanted to look like a nice place, but now that fence isn't good enough because you can see through it. Really? So now I gotta put another fence so you can't see the motorhomes. There's no one across the street, there's not one residential on the road, and there's a trash place across the street. I'm just saying, listen, I agree with getting a special permit, I'm gonna get one.
Yep.
But how big of a fence and how many bushes and how much is the engineer gonna spend? This is what I'm concerned with. I'm willing to do whatever you say, but can I do it without spending so much money? I had 2 lawyers that said that I probably could just win, go into court. Listen, I don't do stuff that way. You guys have been working with me perfectly this whole time, building things. My goal is to build 6 buildings. I only got 3 up. That's all I can afford right now.
Now, when you have the other 3 up, that gets rid of this space altogether.
Yeah, that gets rid of the space
I'm
that's
just
open,
curious.
but
Yep.
listen,
Yep.
I don't want trouble with the people that are already said, can I park here? And I said, yes, now I gotta tell them, move.
Yeah, yeah. No, understood. I think, I mean,
So I'm gonna say,
we
I'm
would
not-
be real amenable to, you know, to pass the special permit. We just have, I mean, the qualifications around the fencing is not that, I don't wanna go look. I don't wanna go look.
I mean, I think that, I mean, I will go down there and look.
Yeah, I'll go down there
To
and
see
look.
They
what
tell me, say, listen, Chad, I think
Yeah,
you should do
make it
this,
work.
put a
Yeah.
fence like this, one, and a couple bushes here. Whatever you guys tell me to
Yep.
do, I'll do it. I know how to obey,
I don't obey.
okay?
He's married.
I know how to do that.
Well, the other thing,
So we still need the letter from Peter.
Yeah, you need the letter from Peter.
I've been in the trash
Basically-
business over 50 years. Every town we go to, they don't want us to park our trucks in that town.
Yeah.
It happened to us all the time.
Yeah.
but they still want their trash picked up.
But now I don't have a trash business and I
Right.
still can't.
Right. Still,
Listen,
No, you know,
I'm not complaining, I'm
work
just
with
trying
Elizabeth
to ask
to
for help.
get the special permit, figured out, and then see what it's
It's
gonna
a
really
site
take.
plan too.
And a
It's a
site
site
plan,
plan.
but he's already got the site plan, right? He just
Not
needs
for,
it-
not for the use, proposed use.
Not for those vehicles that
It'll
I'm
be a
calling
temporary
trailers.
proposed use though, is that something that's different or that we can approach from a different angle?
Can we approach it
No, you have
as
to
a
do
temporary?
it as, you can do it as,
Minor modification.
you can do it as a minor modification, but you still have to have an engineer plan.
And Hannigan won't do anything without the letter
Well,
from
we have an
Peter.
engineer plan.
That's right, you won't.
Peter said he was gonna write the letter today. He
Beautiful.
didn't say he was gonna finish the letter today, but today he told me he would write the letter.
I'm not in a hurry, I'm really not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry as long as you guys are. 'Cause this-
No, we wanna get it right
We just
for
wanna
you
move
too.
in the right
We
direction.
understand, you know, we do.
So can I tell the people they don't have to leave then? The
Not
ones that-
yet, cause you're gonna get the 28, you're gonna get the bump up for the overflow to 28 with the special permit,
Okay.
right?
Well, maybe I should get
So
more
as
just
we're
in case
working
those
this,
people leave.
As long as we continue to work this, it should be fine.
That's what I wanna do, I wanna let you know that, listen, I'll do whatever you guys tell me,
Okay.
really, cause I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
I mean, all the buildings not up yet.
Understood,
Can we
And
send
I
it
just
by
needed the
next
money to
week
help
or
pay for
something?
understood.
all the
What's that
people,
say?
the engineer, I didn't have
By
a
the
clue
end
it was
of
gonna
spring.
cost so much.
When
It's
we follow
unbelievable.
back up
Put
on
up a
that.
couple buildings, I really did.
Like now, schedule it now? When you,
No, when he should
What?
come back by.
oh, when he should come back, but,
Yeah,
oh,
a couple months.
But it's gonna be when Peter's letter says,
Oh,
Peter might say 30 days,
Okay.
Then
he
has
might
to
say
do it
60
to
days,
come
I don't
back.
know what Peter's letter's gonna say, so we're dependent upon the building inspector and his,
Okay.
okay.
his,
Would it be okay to ask for 60 days?
Hey, I think, I would suggest
Yeah.
you ask whether he
Yeah.
gives it to you or not is another
Yep.
question, but
that way you have time to get
Yes.
your application
Yeah,
together.
All right,
We
thank
have
you
no
very much
problem
for your
with that.
time, sorry, I.
No, we're glad you
no,
came.
I'm glad you
I'm
spoke
gonna
up
go down
too,
here.
I'm sorry, I didn't notice you in the audience,
It's
all
okay.
these people in here.
No, my attorney said, don't say anything.
Why?
Really? Because they
No.
wanna get paid for
I
saying something.
know.
No,
There's
No,
more,
lawyers.
you need a seventh building by the time you're done.
Right? I'll see you guys later.
Thank
Take
you very
care.
much.
Much for your time.
Good luck, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to 1771 Lock Drive site plan update.
Okay, your update is printed in front of you, an email from Mr. Xeris dated March 3rd. He says that enclosed is the final
It's right
approval
here, closer to
restoration
that.
plan
Oh,
from
yeah,
the
yeah,
Conservation
right there.
Commission.
Right
The
next to
plan
you.
will be implemented in the
Other side.
spring when
Other
weather
side.
permits. Subsequently, the
Yep.
conservation agent will review the work, verify completion, and finalize the order of conditions. At this point, we will contact the planning board for final resolution to any outstanding items regarding Lock Drive.
He's gotta get a site plan. Part of the site plan is conservation. He's putting the cart before the horse.
John speaking.
Oh, so we haven't received anything? We
We haven't received a site plan yet, and we need one.
Does he know that?
He's saying he
Yes.
wants to wait until
He
conservation.
wants to do conservation first?
No, that's not the way you do it. The conservation is one of our conditions.
Yeah.
You do the site plan first, and the
Aren't we one of,
conservation is included in it.
but aren't we one of
Then we turn
conservation's
around and we have-
conditions?
And he's gonna change, he's got a use change,
He's got a use change.
and he's got a parking lot,
The building
a
inspector,
major modification.
wrote him a letter saying he had to cease, one of his uses there.
So, what do
But
you wanna do?
he needs a site plan,
So,
So this is just.
because he's
just-
deviated from what was approved.
Well, I think we take no action, right?
This is just information.
But the building inspector, based on the way it works with city charter, the building inspector has to write a letter saying, you will require site plan approval.
Right.
Will you
prior
please
to
submit,
conservation
within 30
commission?
days, submit for site plan approval
So
or
there's
60
nothing
days.
for us to do right now.
So has the building
You
department done
can
that?
make a recommendation that I contact the building commissioner and request that he send a letter,
So that hasn't been done yet,
no,
No, we make that recommendation.
sure.
that we
Yes.
contact the building commissioner and send a
Yep.
letter saying site plan
Yep.
approval is required
Yep.
within 60 days.
Yeah, I think that would be good,
Okay.
60 days.
That's your
And
motion?
it does, it's
30 days.
30 days,
I
John?
agree with John.
Okay, 30 days and
No,
it's,
he's been
and it,
playing around for over 2 years.
you're right, I'm with you. And we say, do you wanna put anything in there? It doesn't have anything to do with the restoration plan from the Conservation Commission? Well, we need the site plan prior to the plan for the restoration for the Conservation Commission?
I don't know what difference it makes in terms of
Site
the
plan is
order, if they still
required
need something.
inconsequential to the conservation commission's
Yes.
requirements.
He's also
Yes.
saying he has to wait until spring for conservation, we can do
Yeah.
the site plan before spring.
That's
That's
right.
true.
That's
So
right,
may as well get that done,
I agree, 30 days, that's a good one.
Well, and it's almost spring.
hopefully.
20 days.
I count.
Road will be gone in 30 days.
Okay, so that's a motion by Sal authorizing the planning director
Yep.
to notify the building inspector. Authorizing the planning
You talked
director
it
to
into-
notify the building inspector
Send a
to
letter.
send a letter that he has 30 within 30 days, he should submit a site plan application.
Inconsequential of
Inconsequential
conservation
of
commission
the
action.
Conservation
Okay.
Commission, approved restoration plan.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Second,
Motion made, seconded by Paul. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Patrick Perla.
Yes.
Paul Weiser.
Yes.
Sal Chaconi.
Yay.
John Souza.
Yes.
Tom Kerrigan, do we have you?
No.
No Tom, excuse. Jason Parre, excuse. Dean Valier.
Yes.
Carver Torioso.
Yes. Okay, 6.4, Day Street subdivision, Sawyer Way, New England Lands Company. Elizabeth to give us an update. I know a letter
Okay.
was sent.
A letter was sent to the developer, Carol helped craft this. Basically, the letter stated that, we have the estimate from the Department of Public Works for $182,000. And we included that estimate in the letter. And we stated that we would like to know your plans for completion of this street. And we're letting them know that the city is holding currently $84,256.75 in performance guarantee. If for, as an insurance, you would complete all obligations to the city of Leominster's standards. Be advised that on March 6th, the planning board will consider whether or not New England Land Company has defaulted on its obligations under the subdivision decision. If they make the determination, the city of Leominster can seize the performance guarantee surety. I did get a legal opinion from Amy Questle, and I'm gonna hand it to Carol. This came in at 4, nobody had time to read this ahead of time,
No, that's from January.
because it came in at 4 o'clock
Does that
today,
have to be
4:03.
done in executive session too? Cause it's a legal opinion.
Let me see what it says.
Carol's gonna read it real quick.
We can't
Well,
vote
she's
that.
gonna read it first to herself, and then she's gonna let us know if we have to do it in private.
We definitely can vote that. Oh.
Carol, quick
John,
question, is this just illegal? Should this be getting into a executive?
no, it's like
Yeah,
that-
we're just
it's like
talking
an
about
echo.
that, John.
Good point.
Carol's reading it right now. She'll let us know shortly. John,
Okay.
thank you.
Still reading, John. It's a long thing.
Okay, that's all right.
It's important.
I'm drinking a rum and coke.
Forever.
You're on the record, John.
On
Yeah.
city time.
You're on TV, John.
Now we're gonna have to go into executive
I
session.
think you said Diet Coke.
Oh, Diet Coke, right?
Is that what you said?
I don't think that's what he said.
Diet Coke.
That's right.
Yeah, great.
The little letters, small print. Nice chairs that you must. How many butts have been sitting in this chair?
It's got some water.
Can't say it. On TV.
I don't think we have to. I'm reading the reasons to go into executive session for a public body. Discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health of, right against an employee, that doesn't apply.
There is a section.
If you wanna talk about legal, you can.
To conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations, collective bargaining agreements, no. Discuss strategy with respect to, no. To discuss the deployment of security personnel, no. To investigate charges of criminal misconduct, no. To consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate if the chair declares that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiations, no. To comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grants and aid requirements, I don't think that applies. To consider or interview applicants for employment, no. To meet or confer with a mediator with respect to any litigation, that's not the case here. Any decision to participate in mediation, no. To discuss trade secrets or confidential, competitively sensitive or other proprietary information provided in the course of activities conducted by a governmental body as an energy supplier.
There's not something about legal opinion, I could have sworn that.
There is.
You have a
For
legal opinion.
litigation.
A public body may meet in closed session for one or more of the purposes enumerated in section A, provided that, and then it gives the procedure.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not with my phone, I find that.
then let's go.
Here, I'll help you.
She's basically, she's basically saying if they're not asking for an extension of time because they're not even present.
But if they're in default, you can take legal action. Did you want me to say that?
Well, that's fine, because we can't, I think we can only increase the amount if we take legal action against them.
We have to take legal action against,
But I think we went in knowing this, it was
Ask for
eight,
more.
we have, how much do we have, $84,000
we have
in
$84,000 and
change?
it costs
Yeah.
182.
Short, 98 short.
I mean, based on, so I'll just read this out loud. In my opinion, state statutes and regulations, hold on. Okay, this was your email, I'm like, something's in red here, but it has to do with email coming from another party. Let me look at this whole thing. Okay. State statutes and regulations do not provide for an increase in bond amount. However, the Leominster subdivision control law regulations allow the planning board to reassess the security amount if the developer applies for an extension. That doesn't apply here. The statute governs security for subdivision projects. It contemplates the bond amount being reduced but not increased. Such amounts, and she's just stating what is the statute anyway. Such amounts or amounts shall from time to time be reduced so that the amount bonded, deposited, or retained continues to reflect the actual expected cost of work remaining to be completed. The specific reference to reduced highlights that under the statute, the bonds may not be increased. Likewise, section 14 of our subdivision regs governs security. Unlike regulations in other municipalities, the regulations do not include an express provision for increasing amounts.
So we gotta redo that one.
I know, if the specific improvements are not in compliance within the time prescribed, the planning board shall proceed with the enforcement. This is, she's giving us an example of another subdivision from another municipality. Or revise the amount, and we don't have that in our subdivision regs. However, under the city's regulations, if the developer seeks an extension of time, we can reassess. All securities requests will be scrutinized at the time of an extension request is made for the financial stability and more appropriate forms of security may be necessary. That doesn't apply, they're not asking for an extension. And at least one Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts case suggests that the city can recover any cost not covered by the surety and a separate action for breach of contract. So that's what we can do if we determine to do that. The case she cites is the case she cites is almost 60 years old.
That's good,
Yeah, but it's also old.
but not overturned.
Unless it's been utilized the entire time as a precedence that is
Alright, but
unwavering.
is it gonna cost us less than $100,000?
Of course it will.
So I think that brings us to
A lot of legal
the point in
John,
5, which is that we can't
Yeah.
do this by ourselves.
Are you pressing
and
buttons?
The city council needs to
No,
accept the
not
street
that.
before we can do any improvements to the road in the first place.
so if we take the money, we put out $100,000 to fix the road, the city does, and then we try to recoup the cost under a lawsuit against the developer. If you don't seize the money right now, nothing happens and things continue the way they are. And how long has this been going on? Quite a while.
2006,
So we need to make a motion to declare them in default.
Yeah,
yes.
There are a ton of other roads.
We
with
have,
this.
the
Because you
legal
can't
opinion.
increase.
Yes, we do.
Do you want the legal opinion?
Okay, so the one from January?
The one from January 17th.
So what we did was, so we considered whether, okay,
we
so
have to accept the
we
city.
scheduled the meeting, we sent them the letter. We scheduled the meeting for tonight.
The board can find them in default.
The discussion can occur at a regular meeting, we don't need a public hearing, so we're here now. The board should make it clear to the developer that the board is prepared to find the developer in default and to seize the surety. The goal of this meeting is to come up with a mutual agreement while they're not here. They obviously did not respond to the letter, Elizabeth?
No, I sent it to their attorney and to them.
Okay. Okay, if an agreement is reached, if agreement is not reached, which is the case here, the board. Okay, so then we find them into, we find them in default and seize the surety, which is of $84,256.75.
I will make that motion.
Yeah, we've gotta make a motion by majority vote to seize it, and then
I move to find them
They
in
follow
default and seize the bond.
so the other thing though, the fourth thing, if the board elects to seize the surety and the city performs the work, the board should be cognizant of the fact that the city cannot simply undertake the work on private property. They would need to accept soil
Permission
way as
from
a
the-
city way before
or-
the work is completed.
Or get permission from
The
the
owners,
owners.
well, they're not even here, so you think they're gonna give permission? They didn't even respond to the letter.
They do have an attorney that does communicate
From time to time,
from time to time.
so what was the last communication?
Just,
just, we'll be back to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, enough of that, let's just find them in default and take it from there. This is since two thousand
Is
six.
the city gonna do the remaining work?
no, they don't have it in the they don't have the money, we have to do a lawsuit to get the rest of the
Yeah, but
money.
you can seize what money is in there, right?
We can take that, we
Take
can
that
get, we
money.
can get the top coat done.
And we can
We can
take
get
that
one
money
thing
and
done.
do what we can do.
Contract it out?
Well, I think the
The DPW will do it.
Oh, I don't know.
But so we use that money for whatever it gets us, and then we go after them for the rest. But it would have to be a lawsuit.
That's for the city
Corporation's
council.
probably been changed 15 times in between in there.
There's an
There's
owner,
nobody
there's a
held
living, there's like
responsible.
one living owner alive.
And isn't the things under different names?
Yeah,
The subdivision, the
New England
documents
Land
are different
Company.
names?
it's the New England Land Company LLC. That's who the,
Right, but didn't they say, wasn't there?
that's who the attorney wrote on behalf of when they wrote us.
Isn't it the Walmart company?
There were two names
That's
though,
the way
so there's
the-
confusion. So I say take the money and hold on doing the work.
Yeah.
Because you gotta see what happens, you get accepted as a city way as well. Cause you can't do the work unless you accept it as
Or-
a city way, and then you gotta guarantee that the city's gonna do the work for the other $100,000.
They may not,
That's right,
'Cause there's
you
a
know,
bunch
or it
of
may
other
take
streets.
years
they
for
may
that
not
to happen.
because there's other streets that take,
Precedence
Right.
over
They-
this mess.
I don't know how they decide which streets get done and which don't, but they don't wanna spend,
But how much
Private
are we gonna
money
spend litigating this? I mean, that's another thing, you know? Oh, yeah, that to the
Well,
bill,
we can either have $0 or
$84,000.
$84,000,
One way or the other,
so.
that has to happen, so let's do.
I think we have to
I
take
mean,
it,
I
I think we have
think-
to find them in default.
Yeah.
I think that's the only, and I think that's the only action we take, then it's up to the
Yeah,
city
that's right.
council,
Take
I
that
think.
action
I agree.
and see what happens after that.
So my motion is made.
That's right, because they can choose not to accept it and go after the money.
Motion seconded.
Okay, so a motion was made to find the developer in default
Yep.
and to seize
To
the
seize the
surety.
Yep.
Motion made, Dean second. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Patrick Perla,
Yes.
Paul Weiser,
Yes.
Sal Chaconi,
Yay.
John Souza,
Yay.
Tom Kergnen, excuse, Jason Parra, excuse, Dean Valier,
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes.
Okay, this,
Okay, motion
this,
carries.
That's right,
So
it is.
just, I'm a little bit confused, so after Elizabeth writes this letter and works with the treasurer to get the money, what are the next steps after that? Does she have to reach out to city council?
Well,
No, well, first, it says right here, right, the board, the majority vote will provide notice of default to the developer and
Yeah.
surety,
I
the
get
insurance
that.
company. Yeah, we did that already?
But then
Yes.
it's up to the city council to take the
Okay.
next step, so I think you're right, that Elizabeth
Yeah.
has to
So,
notify
if
the
the
city council of the
developer-
action and tell them the ball's in their court.
That we have this money,
Yep.
if you
Yep,
wanna
we
just
see
do
this
this,
money.
what we have in there to
Yep.
do a little bit of it, or if
Yep.
they wanna do the rest.
so if the board elects to seize the surety, which we have done, and have the city perform the work, the board should be cognizant of the fact that the city cannot simply undertake work on private property. Rather, the city would need to accept Sawyer Way as a city way before the work is completed. Or
Or,
obtain
Right.
permission from the owners to complete the work. I
I'm
don't
sure
know,
they would
is it
consent.
proper for us to make a recommendation to the city council to
Not yet. First we
accept
seize-
Sawyer Way?
I think the mayor,
I think you have to,
just
Seize the
talk to the mayor on
surety
this one, what
first.
they wanna do.
So have Elizabeth talk to the mayor after the money has,
There can't
we've
have-
seized the money,
we
does the
seize
mayor, what does
money,
the mayor wanna
and then
do?
it's up to,
I think that's all
Yeah.
beyond us.
So, actually, the next, we're jumping a step, you're right, cause the next step is
Yeah.
we have to provide a notice of default to the developer
That's right.
and the surety, and Elizabeth, I can help you with that.
Yep.
With a copy to the city clerk in writing by registered mail specifying how the construction and installation of the subdivision fails to comply with the requirements of the board's decision, and
We
that's,
have a list of items that we need to do.
that's very straightforward, we can do that. Okay, so
Okay,
that's the
thank
next
you.
step,
Thank you.
okay. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, we voted on it?
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, let's go to,
Moving on. 6.5.
6.5 and 6.6 are related, I'll read them separately, but I think we can take this as a block. City Council petition C48, Dean Mazzarella, Mayor, requests that the City Council accept Orchard Hill Extension C, Leominster City Council, Orchard Hill Park Drive Extension as attached, planning board to vote to make a recommendation to City Council. 6.6, City Council Petition C49, Dean J. Mazzarella, Mayor, requests that the City Council grant the order of taking in relation to the extension of Orchard Hill Park Drive. See order of taking as attached. Planning board to vote to make a recommendation to City Council. So, the petition is for the extension of Orchard Hill in the order of taking, once it's extended.
Well, he's gonna show diagrams, but I have,
Okay, great.
it's the same thing.
We did this for, the industrial park or the business park, where the registry is now. Same action, it's a fee rent applied by the state. So the city takes the land, the state builds the road. And then they build the warehouse.
Okay,
Okay, yep. Okay,
Have to vote these separately because they're separate to us.
thanks, John.
And there's a grant.
So maybe I could start with that.
Yep.
Good evening, Greg Lascotti, Lascotti Development Corp. here, and, excuse me, in support of these, I guess, two petitions. As Chairman Souza just pointed out, similar process that was followed with Jimmy Whitney's project. Same way we did it for Orchard Hill Park, for we'll call it phase one, if you will, up here, as well as Tanzia Road, same process. What we're doing basically is extending a roadway, Matt, if you could just point it out, please. I'm sorry, this is Mappin Basie from Bowler Engineering. At the intersection of Pioneer Drive and Orchard Hill Park Drive. It's about 1,000-foot long cul-de-sac. The reason for kind of the odd design, if you will, is a couple of factors. One is topography. There's some significant grades there. Folks, I'm sure, have been there over the years. You can see the topography out there. And when you're working with a potential industrial or warehouse type user, you have to be cognizant of the grades as well. So the road is designed to less than a 6% grade, and in the area coming, if you can show the flat area there, at the bottom, there's a couple 100-foot, basically a runway, if you will, a flat area to have the trucks come to an easier stop till they get that intersection. So the city got a $2.some million MassWorks grant last year, I believe. And the goal would be to get this project out to bid hopefully in the next couple of months. As part of it, there's a waiver of damages, if you will, for quote friendly taking, which I delivered to the city mayor's office this morning, so they have all that paperwork. The road itself, this is just obviously the land that's being taken for the right-of-way and the associated construction easements. There's a full set of design plans that have been reviewed and approved by the DPW. So that's really kind of it in a nutshell. Maybe not just the aerial, just to kind of orientate everybody here. The overall area where the road is. So the big box is obviously Target, and if you show the intersection is right there. So it'll open up approximately, I think it was around 30 some odd acres that I own down at that end of the street. And this is all part of the MU2 zone.
That's the back way in, right?
Yeah.
All the way back, man.
So the process is that the city has to take the land first.
So we do a friendly taking, which is, so I sign that paperwork. The council already met once, referral to this board for hopefully positive recommendation back to the council. And then they do the actual taking, hopefully next Monday night. assuming we get a positive recommendation tonight. And then that's pretty much it. If they have everything, they would record the Mylars and they would put the project out to bid. I paid for the design plans for the roadway, taking plans, the bid specs that we provided to Greg Chapdelaine. So he's reviewing those, and then they'll be able to bid the whole project based off of what we've given them. And we hope to get in the construction this spring, which would be great.
Super.
I think the city goal, I think Wendy can maybe confirm this, but I think the plan is the state would like to see at least $500,000 of that money spent by June 30th, I believe. Yeah, fiscal year, the way that they spread out the money, but.
Yeah.
There should be, I'm assuming with plenty of money here, with just over $2 million on a 1,000-foot road, but it is, has to be public bid and it's a prevailing wage project, so, costs will be a little bit higher than normal.
I recommend, we recommend approval to the city council.
I'll second that.
First-
Well, we should do those, even though
Do
we
each
listened to
one
them, we should
separate.
take them separately, because they're
Yeah.
two separate petitions.
Okay,
So
so for
6.5.
6.5, make a recommendation to the city council that, we will be in approval.
A positive recommendation?
Positive recommendation, thank you. I meant to say that,
To extend Orchard Hill Park, Orchard Hill, Orchard Hill Park Road, the road
Drive.
extension. Okay, motion made, and Paul, you second. All those in favor, before I do that, anyone in the audience, there's someone here, other than Mr. Lascotti, Ms. Weeks?
I'm a grants administrator for the city. I think we've got a proven track record of MassWorks grants and other grants for economic development. This is definitely a good example of one, so I appreciate your positive recommendation.
Great, and just for the community to know, that according to the mayor, after the investment of putting in hopefully a 234,000 square foot industrial warehouse building, it could employ up to 30 full and part-time people, and which would gain tax revenue to the city as well.
So I'll pause.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Weeks. Motion made, second, all those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Patrick Perla.
Yes.
Paul Weiser.
Yes.
Sal Chaconi.
Yay.
John Souza.
Yay.
Tom Kerrigan, excused. Jason Parra, excused. Dean Valier.
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes, and then the petition for the actual taking itself, friendly taking.
I make a positive recommendation.
And again, second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Patrick Perla.
Yes.
Paul Weiser.
Yes.
Sal Chaconi.
Yay.
John Souza.
Yay.
Tom Kerrigan, excused. Jason Parra, excused. Dean Valier.
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes. Okay, both motions pass.
Some things are easy.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Where it all began.
Yeah, I know it, isn't it?
Good to be.
Welcome back to us.
Yes,
Yeah, good to see you. This is your roots.
Yeah, 100%.
right? Never forget where you come from.
That's right.
How's your parents?
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Me and him used to do the collection at 30 minutes the same years.
Yeah.
That was
You
a
should
little.
still be there, so.
I kept a little bit.
Did the treasurer of the church keep a good
Treasurer of the
accounting?
church,
Of the
right.
two were
Yeah.
there on Sundays?
No, his father was the treasurer.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Appreciate
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Wendy. We'll move on to the planning director's report, 7.1, report for March 6th.
Yes. So, continuing education, everybody, we mentioned this at the last meeting, but just reminding you that if you wanna participate in the Citizens Training Planning Collaborative, it's March 18th, and we have it in our budget to fund you. So just see me, I'll register you, I'm going, and, it's good education.
It's a Holy Cross, right?
It's at Holy Cross in
It-
Worcester.
Unfortunately, I'm not in town, otherwise I would attend.
I have an opening house in school.
I don't know yet, I have to make sure. I have to see
Okay.
if I have permission.
If I can get one person to go, that'd be great.
Saturday?
I shouldn't even be here.
I know. Maybe Jason can go. All right, the UPWP status update. Paul had a recommendation, that we look at, was it what's the name of the road?
It's Old Mill Road.
Old Mill Road. And there's a railway bridge that goes across that. We got feedback back from, the state that
Going up the Leggett Hill.
it's, we can't spend private funds on a railway, and we can't spend private funds on that road. If there's public funds available, it can't be through the grant,
Okay,
so it doesn't work,
there you go.
unfortunately.
That
And I
was-
called Ann on the phone and I got the same,
Tunneling might be.
Yeah.
The best bet, that spot.
I got the same feedback, there was no way out on that.
Well,
Ava Way update, we have some good news. We were looking for as-built and street acceptance plans, and we contracted with Haley Ward to do this. They've completed half of the work, and they billed us for it, and we're working on processing with the treasurer's office, paying that bill. So that's underway. And that's all I had.
Okay, no executive session, motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion made and second to adjourn. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Patrick Perla.
Yes.
Paul Weiser.
Yes.
Sal Chaconi.
Yay.
John Souza.
No.
All right, you stay on, John.
Excused. Jason Parre, excused.
Okay, yeah.
Dean Valier.
Yes.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
All right, good meeting, everyone.